Okay, good morning. More slow television. Right, those I fed with a bit of nitrogen a couple of weeks ago, and certainly you can see that they've greened right up. Sue's put some plants on top there. We're getting that one ready for some wild planting in a minute. A few poppies and stuff like that. Just in that area, she cleared all that last week. Surprising, even though you're working, you find time that's just to do a little bit. My peach tree, well, I'm not sure about my peach tree. It gave us some lovely peaches last year, but this year doesn't seem to have done as well. There are a couple I've seen. There's some at the back there, you can see. Whether they'll make it through, I don't know, but a lot seem to dry up for some reason. Oh, there's some peaches forming there. Maybe there'll be enough. I do spray the tree because you get this dieback or leaf curl, or peach leaf curl. Seem to have got rid of that, or the majority of it anyway, as the leaves start to form. Plums, well, they only come out every other year, but this year, for some reason, they've decided that they're going to make an appearance again. So it's a bit random, this bush, really. But we like plums. Probably not as many as this thing produces, because when it starts going, it knocks out quite a few plums. Sue's been making mint sauce with balsamic vinegar, so my mint plants has been devastated. That's fine, we've got plenty of that, and that will come back again. I've got a load of new ones of those to go in, geraniums. I propagated them from last year. I like the white ones. Rosemary, yeah, I asked you that, Sharon. What's the one there's two types of tree there, and I can't remember what the different ones were. One was a bush type, and one was a tree type, and I'm not sure whether I've got the tree type or the bush type. It seems to die underneath, which I suppose it gets starved of light. I'm not sure. Yeah, bird feeder, they're eating that. Right, move up the top. Okay, continuation of my slow TV. Not much has happened on the old allium front. They grow pretty slowly, and pretty boring plant to look at, really. I did manage to get my second lot of sweet corn in. Obviously you know where the first lot are, in the tunnel. I had planned to do it while we were away, so they germinated, but you can see just little tiny shoot coming out the ground in the toilet roll, which I always do them in because they have a long, sorry, I'm out of breath, it's quite a hill, that one. Keeps me fit anyway. The outside strawberries look a bit naff. To be honest with you, we're going to clear that and they've been in there for 3 years, so that's really shouldn't keep the strawberries that long. Now, before I came up here, I looked at the temperature, because I can monitor the temperature from down the top. It's 30 degrees in here. Oh yes, quite stifling. Got a little remote sensor up there which tells me the temperature of the tunnel. We're well on our way to forming now, a week's further on, and I found some quite big ones actually. I tend to sort of try and force them to grow over the side if I can. They're better dangling. As Sharon pointed out, you don't get the bother with the slugs at this height, and which is quite true. So they're all forming quite nicely, and we've got the sugar ready for the jam. Which is the best way to grow them, I don't know. I found that those over there look a lot healthier. I didn't plant them till about January, and I put them in those that type of pot there, but a bigger one. And they look, well, lots of growth on them anyway. And these are ones that's going to be susceptible to slugs. But I have oh yeah, look at those. Look. It's only a week ago now, and there that you saw them. If you compared the video, I did give them a bit of LSD for which is called nitrogen. Plants like nitrogen, especially plants that's not flowering at that particular time. You can see where the shoot coming out there, that will eventually become a cob. Usually you can get 2 or 3 on a, but I generally find that I only get 1 on the inside crop. Maybe they just don't like being in containers, which I don't blame them. Outside they're allowed to, roots are allowed to move around a bit, so perhaps that's what causes that to happen. But I've grown strawberries in various different ways, as you can see. We had a feed off of our spinach in the week, so that got decimated, but it soon comes back again. And I put a bit of nitrogen on those because that's a non-flowering species. Mint, she's not spotted that one yet, but as soon as she does, I expect that one will be devastated. Doesn't matter, that's what it's all about, isn't it, really? Put some coriander in yesterday. These are more spinach because we seem to be eating lots of spinach, and in a nice salad and whatever, and even more spinach up there. All going on here it is. Lemongrass, well, I don't know what to do with that, whether to pull it up and split it up and replant it, or just let it grow. I can see it dividing, which is nice, but whether I pull them up, divide them and fill up the whole of that square with them, I don't know. Possibly. Peas, well, they've shot on too. They're Mange Toots. So the Mange Toot variety can eat the lot, eat all. And another strawberry plant I've found and rescued and gave it a little home for the next few months. Okay, well, that's pretty well much in here. Here comes Gardener Sue. During the week, as if we've got nothing better to do, she was working on clearing these are, what are those? Yeah. Blackcurrants. Quite like blackcurrant jam. So I think they're going on. I think they need to take some cuttings of those so that we can start them again. I think they get too big. Don't know, but it seems to be cropping quite well. Be enough for what we want. And maybe some strawberry jam for people. The pots are more valuable to us than the actual jam, because we sort of make it all and then never give it away and then never see the pots again. So if you're given a pot, remember to bring it back. Ottery and Sainsbury's in the distance. Yes, it's not 9 o'clock yet. The apple blossom is out now. That's a difference between last week and this. It was just showing to come out. That's the Braeburn tree again. Lovely lot of, and the pear tree that we saw last week. That you see, they're beginning to form there. So I'd get so hopeful with this, and then they'll drop off or something or another happens. There seems to be going to be a lot of pears there this year. But I seem to remember last year I felt the same way. I thought, ooh, look at that lot coming. And, well, it didn't happen. That little apple tree that I said, once again, it's compared to the size of it, that will produce an awful lot of apples. It always amuses me, such a small tree. does it to it. And it's brother, sister there. It's beautiful. Lovely, isn't it? Well, I think so anyway. And in the background there's the old hearse. It got moved to the side, I'm afraid, but it's still there. That's a Wolseley. The running boards look like a gangster thing. Tyres still there. It's all there somewhere underneath that. Good luck to anybody who wants to put that lot together. Yes, but another word on the hearse. He still facing the church, which it was driven up here facing the church. And I said to Matt when he was moving it, you really need to make sure that's facing the hearse, because that's how Father wanted it to be. Because a lot of families have, so you can see not much wind today. My little turbine is not really producing much. People are wondering why I've got a turbine. Well, it charges the, I got it off of eBay very, very cheaply. So I never pay very much for things. And it's not very good, to be honest with you. So you get what you pay for, I suppose. At the end of the day, it charges a battery, Hearst battery, and the limo batteries down in the new garage. It comes down to a little device. Bore you one day on Slow TV and show you that as well, I suppose. Right, well, we've got 100% showing of the first earlies. As you can see, the ones outside don't do as good as the ones in the tunnel. And that's the difference, obviously. You're a month ahead in the tunnel. I find that on a regular occurrence. The tunnel makes my growing 1 month ahead, and it extends the whole period a month as well. So, and these are the main crop potatoes. I think these are Maris Piper, which we like Maris Piper, but we don't usually do potatoes. But in this particular instance, and because of the lockdown, we really don't know what we're going to get. So, what's going to be available? I went to try and get potatoes the other day, and the farmers are all run out. So, and I know kids listening love pasta. I like my roast spud, to be honest with you. Probably shows on my size. There you go. Now then, somebody else might answer me that I've not been able to grow rhubarb for some reason, and every time I do grow rhubarb, I got a flower out the middle of it. And I've chopped one flower off, but now I've got two more come back. I shall chop them off as well. But why can't I grow rhubarb? What sort of soil does it need? I mean, I'll give it acid or alkali or whatever. My bee hotel, well, usually they're activated and busy. I don't know whether that's actually gone past its sell-by date now, my bee hotel. I've got two, and I don't like that other one. It's obviously a one-star one made out of plastic, but that one being cardboard, they're obviously eco bees. So there you go, that's the outside. Well, not quite the outside. There's spring onions and my other ones, which are pretty boring. I'll put some lettuce around the outside, because they'll come up and we'll pick them very young anyway. And then £1 down at the supermarket for a blooming lettuce, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Right, these are the last of the sweet corn. Why I grow them in those is because the root has already gone through. It's less than a week, that is. They grow extremely fast. I've got a bumblebee in here somewhere, I can hear him. Nothing really has happened very much on the front. There's a couple popping their heads up there. We've got Alicante, which we've come up here to pot up, because they're a bigger tomato. We usually grow the little cherry tomatoes, because you usually get them early on in the season. My loofahs, that's a loofah. They're looking quite healthy now. God, you're a big bumblebee. Right. Anyway, and these are Telegraph cucumbers coming up. So we've got a few cucumbers. I don't know who's going to make it and who's not going to make it. So we do quite a few, as most gardeners do, I'm sure, and end up with loads more than they need. So they give them away or whatever. I've got some shallots there. If somebody wants some, loads of shallots left. Pickled onions, I hear you shouting. Yeah, well, we've done those. fact, actually, I probably could do some more. Right, those are Ogden melons. Not sure whether they'll germinate. They're a very old seed. None of my Belotti have come up yet. I think, apart from, I'll tell a lie, one. And that's been a couple of weeks now, so I got a feeling that they've had it. But, well, we'll leave them one more week, see what happens. There's parsnips in there, in the toilet rolls. Just to replace some of the ones missing outside. Pinky and Perky aren't up this morning. Well, actually, I renamed them because they used to be called Tic Tac Toe. But a herringull got tick, so that was the end of that. Goldfish, if you didn't know. Why have I got goldfish in the bowl? Because they produce poop, which is good fertiliser. It's my watering, it's all done on siphoning. Comes back, all runs off the polytunnel into a bucket and then gets siphoned along all these four. That is a good thing there. Bocking 14, right? That's what that's called, bocking. I'm not being rude. And you pick those leaves and that's a good fertiliser. The roots go down nearly 20 foot and they'll pick up all the minerals and everything else and bring them up to leaves. Halfway through the summer, the bees love it. They absolutely go berserk over it. It's not particularly a pretty plant, and it's a bit sprawly. I seem to pick sprawly plants. Anyway, that's all from the Luxton greenhouse as everybody wakes up on another COVID-19 day. I'm really fortunate to be able to get up and do some work. Actually, you can hear the noise behind me. It's not actually me doing any work at the moment. But there's the, for the family that are watching this, you might recognise that place. Oh, I've been talking for 10 minutes. It's 9:10. Right. For my little helper, swooping up. Say bye-bye to everybody.